Welcome back to the Blackletter podcast. We set out to create an entertaining and exciting podcast about law and business. Blackletter, the name, comes from the Gothic typeset. Over time, Blackletter became the only font that English law books were printed in. It made it harder for kind of the common person to understand what the English law books said. Blackletter came to represent something that was law, that was set in stone, that was sort of old and a well-settled fundamental principle of law. We're here to demystify black-letter law. We're here to demystify things that happen in business and law and where those two meet. And I hope you have fun listening. Welcome back to the Blackletter podcast. Thanks for joining us this week. It is segment 3 with Darrell Moon from Orriant. And this week we're going to hear from Darrell what his advice is. I kind of extracted advice that I'm taking to heart from what Darrell talked about in the passion. He talked about the Nuka healthcare system in Alaska. And I think we should do that here in the United States. It's a big lift, but I think it's fantastic that something like that works so well. I'm a huge fan of preventative maintenance in healthcare. Darrell, so tell us this week, of all of the things you've learned leaving, opening 3 hospitals, being the CEO in hospital administration, running hospitals, and then quitting all of that in the late 90s and opening your own company because you were tired of the paradigm and wanted to change the paradigm to health coaching, to preventative, to putting the fence at the top of the cliff. What can you give our listeners to take away as they make their own entrepreneurial journey? And probably whether it's in healthcare or whether it's in any other kind of business, whatever pieces of advice you can share, we'd love that.
So again, I'm very passionate about this idea of Edwards Deming philosophies of continuous quality improvement. Who's the customer? How do you delight the customer? How do you monitor the processes to see if you are delighting the customer? And then how do you improve the process? So I like to apply that to business in general. And when you ask the question, who's the customer? Every business has more than one customer. And I categorize customers into the 4 S's.
Okay.
The 4 S's of service. There's the served, there's the server, there's the sender, and there's the solvency. And when employers approach business from the standpoint of, I need to balance how well I meet each of those customers' needs, they'll be a successful company. When I say the served, who's your customer? In your case, if you're an attorney, who are you providing attorney services to? Are you meeting their needs? Are you measuring and monitor to see if you're meeting those needs? And then are you improving the processes through those close to the process? Who's the server? Who are your attorneys that work for you that provide the service? And are you meeting their needs? And that's
Right.
where we fall so short in healthcare. Employers offer these benefits, these healthcare benefits to attract and retain top talent, but they never ask their customer, how well is it working? And how can we improve the process to where you get a better product, which is all Nuka did. And Nuka got the best healthcare system by simply asking the customer what they wanted. Employers can do that. The third one is the senders. Who sends you business? Which customers, whether it's referral sources or categories or channels of sales, how well are you doing at meeting their customer needs? And then finally, solvency. You might ask, well, how's that a customer? Well, business has to have more money coming in than what's going out. And so the solvency of the company is a customer. And it too, just like you balance, you can go out of business taking care of those first 3 customers. But if you will
Right.
balance the needs of the solvency of your business as a customer, monitoring its needs and looking to see how to improve its processes, when you balance all 4 S's, you'll be a successful company.
So the advice is balance the 4 S's, which are the served, the servers, the senders, and the solvency. And I love the idea of the solvency and treating that as a 4th pillar. So what is the name of that Edwards Denning? What was that? I want to share
So
that with.
Edwards Deming built the process improvement, quality process improvement plan. You can look him up. It's really the foundation of most business strategies today. He was kind of the grandfather of this quality CQI, continuous quality improvement process.
Okay. So question about you. So and your company. So your servers are these healthcare coaches. Who are your senders?
So really, there's benefit consultants, mostly the very innovative ones who are trying to help their
Okay.
employers implement innovative solutions. They're an important sender for us. Any business who wants to improve the health and productivity of the workforce is a sender, and obviously getting them to send the information to their friends and passing it along to others is an important sender. And then really healthcare and fixing healthcare touches almost every industry in one way or another. So I
So
consider all of those being senders.
so the business itself is the served and the sender at the same time.
In our case, if you look at it from a
Uh,
company basis, individuals we're coaching are the served
okay, so they're the client.
behavior. Right. My company and my coaches are the servers. Businesses who buy my service for their employees are the senders. They're paying me to provide this service to their employees.
I see. Okay.
That's
So that's an important distinction. Yeah. Because you think about who are the served, you think instantly as an attorney, well, so and so company is the served, but really it's the corporate counsel that you're dealing with every day, or the COO. That individual is the served. And you have to balance that. And the business that pays the bill, their finance department, they've hired you.
right.
It's interesting with lawyers because often, and certainly when you're representing smaller businesses, they're both. And I'm just
Yep.
trying to categorize these buckets, but that's great advice. Is there a good resource for people to look up these four S's and the kind of the balancing calculus that you're doing?
I came up with that idea, but I'm just applying best practice. It's not like I came up with all this. I do write for Forbes. And if you go to
Okay.
Forbes and just Google Darrell Moon, you'll see a host of articles. And probably the very first article I wrote is on the four S's of service.
So Daryl, anything else you want to add for the good of the cause? I love the four S's, and that's going to be. I'm going to look at that as something to try to layer into what we're doing, and I'm going to check out your article for sure. Is there anything else you think we should know?
This idea of alignment, choice,
Mhm.
and relationship. Again, the article that just came out today on Forbes goes into more detail with that. But I can tell you that employers can save 20 to 50% on their second largest cost of doing business, purchasing health benefits for their employees, by simply giving their employees choice. And if you want to learn more, go to Forbes and look up today's article by Darrell Moon, and you'll read an article all about the alignment, choice, and relationship.
Excellent. I will check that out. I am certainly curious because I know we pay a heck of a lot of money for healthcare, and it's interesting. It's never gotten less expensive. Uh,
Exactly. And that's because you don't align the system to work for you. You allow it to work
there's
against you.
every year orders of magnitude, Daryl. Orders not like 5%. I'm talking 30%, 40% every year for the last. We've been in business 20 years. It's insane.
And you can
Um,
change that by simply changing alignment, choice, and relationship. It's that easy.
I'm going to go talk to my CEO about this. And she's going to be like, "What? What are you doing to me?" It's interesting. And I'm a big proponent of preventative health. So thanks again, Daryl. And thank you, listeners, for joining us, the Blackletter podcast. Download us wherever you get your podcast: iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of those great places and others. And we'll see you next time on the Blackletter podcast.
That's all for today's episode of Blackletter. Thanks again for listening. Join us next time when we talk about more Blackletter issues in creative ways. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode, and check out our website at blackletterstudios.com.